So let's go back to archives and YouTube and the kind of, you had a team of people sort of scouring the web and finding things, and this became part of your pursuit of a certain kind of point of view.
Yeah, I mean, actually, in this particular film, the really interesting material no one had ever seen before, and that was material from Nick, which is of that early tour when they're traveling around, and she's getting changed in restrooms, and they're just messing around playing pool, and the stuff that Lauren and Juliet had shot, particularly Lauren, because Lauren was like Amy's little sister. They grew up together. They spent a lot of time together. They went Amy would go on holiday with Lauren's family all the time. And essentially, Lauren's family felt very much like they almost brought her up. So that stuff when she's in Mallorca and showing her around the motel room, Lauren shot that. Lauren's a great camera person as well. I think her footage is always great. Happy Birthday was shot by Lauren. So those friends really were the moment where I thought, okay, we have a film. Because suddenly there's this young girl, there's this really funny, happy, bright, intelligent woman that I'd never seen before. But who had this talent. She would just be messing around, gets up on stage with a guitar, starts to sing and blows you away. And what I thought was interesting was the footage that like Juliet and Lauren would shoot. It'd be a photograph or it'd be home video, and they'd be holding the lens, it'd be a mini DV or a recordable DVD player. Do you remember those? That they had these sorts of cameras, and she's always looking at them in the lens. And there was direct look into the camera. And then Nick would be filming her, and she's talking to Nick directly. Or she takes the camera off Nick and films herself, and she talks to... And so this idea of she's essentially talking to the audience. She's looking straight at us. And we, the audience, become different people in her life all the way through. We're her best friend, we're her manager, we become her husband at one point. And then, she's performing to the camera on TV. And then eventually we become the paparazzi. And we become the people who are kind of following her and hounding her and who she's now running away from. So I found that was quite interesting. All the rules of drama are you never look in the camera. And I found it quite powerful. I saw all this footage where Amy was talking directly to us. And the way her persona changes, her eyes change, her hair changes, her body shape changes, her face, and the way she starts being with her husband when she's obviously on something. And she totally changes her character and becomes like this child. I found that was really quite intense. And I saw a lot of heavy imagery, a lot of dark stuff, which isn't necessarily in the film now. But some of the darkest material in the film are those selfies that she took on her laptop when she's really in a bad way. And you see what she really looks like underneath the wig, underneath the makeup, and all of that facade, which became her iconic image. That's what she looked like. She was this curly-haired girl, very little hair left, ordinary Jewish girl with a lot of, she looked sick. Really sick, but actually that's the same girl, not too dissimilar to the girl you see in the Grammys.
Wow. But you also use paparazzi footage. Is that what you found on YouTube?
Yeah, the paparazzi stuff, there was a lot of this quite horrible material, and there was big question about whether to use it or not, but I felt we needed to use it because it was because it is so shocking and so visceral, and to literally be in that moment when she's been attacked by 10 cameras outside her home, which became a normal existence. It would go on every single day for months or years even. So yeah, we looked, and there were lots of TV shows and lots of, there was footage of like these guys in balaclavas who would follow her around and giving interviews to the news in England, where someone was saying, why are you doing this? And the guy, the paparazzi photographer would say, well, for me, she's not really human, and I'm just doing a job. And, it's really, that's how they looked at her. And a lot of these guys are ex-military, and they're the types of people, because you're not an artist, you're just basically there. Who can sleep rough the longest will get the shot. So these were the people that would hang out outside her house, for, sun or rain or winter or whatever, to get the photo. So I felt like I wanted to get across how nasty it was, and to be in the middle of it, and for it to feel as violent and as visceral as possible. And so that material, there are lots of news agencies that took all of these pictures. And Amy's story is interesting because it's just on the cusp of when newspapers went digital. So that's why they started shooting video. So the paparazzis went from taking photos to shooting video, because that video then could end up on, the TMZ or, whatever, Perez Hilton and The Sun and The Mirror and all of these, the Daily Mail, all of these websites, the most popular websites in the world. Someone's clicking on them. This is the thing. And the paparazzi's answer was always like, well, we're just serving a need. If people didn't click on them or if people didn't buy the papers, we would not take pictures of Amy. That's their excuse always. You know, they're just there to hand over what the audience are asking for.